Something incredibly strange happened to me yesterday morning. After spending Friday night hanging out with a friend, we decided it was time to call it a night due to the lateness of the hour. As a result, we headed to the garage with the intention of me driving him home. Almost immediately after the garage door began to rise, a man walking across the street bolted toward us, panic etched across his face, and he cried out, "Help." In that very moment, my instincts kicked into high gear. I swiftly opened my car door and retrieved my stun gun from the glove box while my friend urged the man to halt. The sight of the stun gun stopped him in his tracks, but he implored us once more for assistance. This individual, who appeared to be in his early 20s, presented a disheveled appearance, with mud-caked clothing and a potent odor of alcohol lingering about him. My friend urged him to calm down and share his story, and he took a moment to sit down on the front step to catch his breath. He went on to explain that he believed he had narrowly escaped an attempt at human trafficking. According to his account, he had been out drinking with friends when he was suddenly ambushed by a group of men and forcibly placed into a car. At this point, he claimed to have lost consciousness, only to awaken later in a completely different vehicle, parked in front of some abandoned factory or something. He described how he instinctively fled from the car and began running. He recounted how, as he ran, several men pursued him, shouting for him to return. However, he managed to evade them by finding refuge in a nearby wooded area. He described how he hid there for some time, all the while hearing the men continue to call out his name and inquire about his whereabouts. Eventually, he left the woods and began walking along the highway, which led him out of the city and into the suburbs. He had been on the move for nearly 5 hours. Given that his phone was dead and he had no money, he had no choice but to approach us for help. When we inquired about his address, it turned out to be almost a 2-hour drive away. Regrettably, we had to explain that we couldn't accommodate such a long trip. It was at this point that the man's frustration and desperation boiled over, and he suddenly became enraged.